Welcome to Chapter 2, Numeric Data Frame Methods. We're now going to call statistical methods on our data frame in the same way that we started with our series. So we're going to begin with a data frame filled with nothing but numeric columns and call those same aggregation and non-aggregation methods on each of those columns. So if you click on this link, you'll get taken to this page of the documentation, which has all of those same descriptive statistical methods that we covered on the series, but they are also available on the data frame as well. All right, let's go see how they work. And we're going to read in a new data set here. This is the San Francisco employee compensation data set. Every row represents a single employee. So again, here are the aggregation methods. They're the same ones we saw on a series. And as you'll see is the main difference, or the way a method, these aggregations work on a data frame versus a series, is that they work independently on each column. So calling the sum column, we'll try to sum up all of the values in one column, all of the values in the next column, then all of the values in the all of the other columns independently. All right, so let's go ahead and do this. But before we can get started, we're only going to select actually these columns from salaries onto the end, and SFMP like this. This will make it easier to select. We'll call this comp for compensation. All right, so this will be our data frame. It's nothing but numeric columns. And now we're going to take the mean, call the mean method. And the way this works is going to take the mean of the salaries column, then take the mean of the overtime column, and then take the mean of all the other columns. And you get this result. So it can be a little confusing at first, but you can see here, this is the mean of all of the salaries, right? So it's important to know, okay, what is the length of this? There's 50,000 employees in this data set. So this is the mean salary. This is the mean overtime, the mean other salary, and so forth. You should recognize what type of object was returned, right? This is a series where the original columns are now in the index, and then that aggregation value is over here as the new values. So this is how all of those aggregations work. So remember, an aggregation is something that returns a single value. So comp.sum over here. So this is the sum of all the salaries. This is the sum of the health benefits. So all of them work the same way. You can take the standard deviation, the variance, the median, the max, the min, all of them work the exact same. By default, they work column-wise. Up and down, they go vertically, right? Okay, great. So it's it can be confusing, potentially confusing. Let's put our data frame up again. So you start out in this view where you have a data frame, but you get returned a series. So it might have been better if pandas had kept the orientation the same. So you just have, this is just an image of what it could have looked like. Pandas chose a different route to do this. So they could have kept it as a data frame where the first row would have just the aggregated values like this, but they did not, and they turned it into a series. So some people can get confused by that visual orientation, right? It switches from a data frame where the columns are like such to a series where the columns are now in the index. All right, so that is how the aggregations work on a data frame.